I'm just clicking yes and go, and now it says it's setting up my meeting for YouTube Live.
It says live on YouTube, so I'm going to go back to the link and see, because that message just
Oh,
changed.
yes, there it is.
There it is.
So it was not the live. So those.
It says live on YouTube, so I'm going to go back to the link and see, because that message just.
Yeah, so those instructions are.
They also have a delay from what I heard, I think for like 30 seconds, a 30-second delay or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's, I think what's happened, and I apologize, Tony, I think that with the update, we need to update the instructions. So I think Jocelyn was correct that when it just updated that, yeah, I know. Zoom keeps me on my toes, but this is why we have a practice. Yay.
Yes.
Thank you all for your collective patience. I was like, I don't know why this isn't working. So that's good. Okay. I will update the instructions, but you know now where to go to broadcast.
Okay.
Great.
Now I feel good. I know how to do this.
Great.
Great. Jocelyn, can I ask?
I'm feeling a
you-
little nervous. Yes.
Yeah. Same. So just because it's very difficult, right, for those of us who are in this Zoom, we can't really attend to the live stream. Can I ask you to
I have a second device with the live stream on right here.
great, but can you be focused on that? Is that okay?
Yeah, but I still don't see anything. I refreshed and it still says waiting for Tony King on both my devices.
Okay, so click on the live on YouTube on the Zoom.
Oh, you
'cause I
gotta
got
go
it,
right.
and then go view stream on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Actually, let's just try copy the streaming link. I'm just going to try that.
I'll put in
And
the.
then-
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, because we do need to have something we can share with staff, but this did work.
I just put the link
So-
in the thing again.
Okay. 'Cause
Oh,
Chat.
this is, it's like super disorienting to have
Yeah,
both at
it
the
is.
same time. That's why I'm saying, is that okay, Jocelyn? Can you attend to that live stream?
Yeah.
I can't, it's really weird. So on clicking on the live YouTube from Zoom, I have it in another window. I have refreshed several times on my second computer and it still looks like this, which makes me think our kid's gonna see this tomorrow because it's on a student Chromebook.
Mm.
So did you try copying the link?
Yes, I emailed it to myself.
This one that Tony just put in the chat,
Well, let me try that one.
that did work for me, but I will say that I'm working on a VPS MacBook.
All right, hold on. Let me,
Catherine. Did I say Caroline?
Yes, yes, it is.
Um,
I have a Chromebook right here. You guys.
You're on a Chromebook?
Here? Yeah.
and it's okay.
Okay, I will do that.
Ed Milson, can you see the stream on YouTube?
But are you working on a Chromebook?
What kind of
honey?
computer are you using?
The Chromebook.
Oh, good.
And so you can see the live stream on that Chromebook? Great, okay. But you guys have different jobs and I want Ms. Vosh to be the one who,
Hold on, I'm emailing myself now.
okay, no, not trying to
Oh.
rush you at all. I just, and again, I really appreciate everyone's patience. I knew we'd need extra time. I wasn't sure where. So this is,
I know what I want to know how to do. Casey, how do Sean, I'm gonna pin you because we're gonna pin City Councilor Campbell. And I want to
Well-
see if does the pin translate to the, let's see.
So you'll actually want to not pin, but spotlight,
Oops.
and that's
Darn it.
slightly different. So
Oh, what
if
happened?
you, what happened when?
Now in the live stream, suddenly it's just one person. Oh, because it's just who's talking.
Correct. So just quick clarification, there is a difference between pinning and
I wanna see.
spotlighting.
Does the
You'll
pin
want-
translate to the?
Oh, okay. Somebody's watching the
You'll
live
actually
stream.
want to not pin
Spotlight, hearing myself twice.
That's slightly different.
So you'll want to spotlight and not pin. just because pinning is just for yourself, spotlighting is for everyone.
Yep, now he's got it. Now I'm just looking at Sean, even though he's so quiet. All right, but so this is actually something that I can do. So Mr. King, why don't I spotlight you? Let's go through quickly the schedule that I have outlined here. I'll put this in the chat. And then okay, so somebody else did it before me, but so this is the schedule I'd like to move through. Sorry, it lost all my little bumps there, but
Casey, how do we unspotlight? Oh, okay.
it's on participants. And so, but Mr. King, I'd like you to just say, you know, a 3-second version of what you'll say tomorrow and then introduce Ed Milson. Is everyone okay with jumping into this practice now, to just sort of the handoff from one to the other? And tomorrow, this can be my job again to throw the spotlight. Okay.
If I can just quickly, before you launch in, I need to leave. I have a hard stop at 4. But if you have any other tech questions, I can be watching the chat. But I just didn't want to leave without saying goodbye.
Oh, I thank you
Yeah,
so much
thank
for
goodness.
your help.
No problem. Thank you, Jocelyn, for having the thought about the update.
Thank you, Casey. I might be calling tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Really appreciate both of you ladies. Thank you so much. Great. Okay, Mr. King, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to get this day started, and we're going to start off with Edmilson Fernandez, who's going to do some introductions for us.
So Edmilson, you have to have your video on for me to spotlight you.
Hello, my name is Milson. I'm a student from student government, and I will be introducing Andrea Campbell, the city councilor, Andrea Campbell.
Great. And we'll go over that with you some. And so then now, Sean, I'm going to spotlight you.
Great. And so I'll just say like read through the first couple of lines from the counselor's remarks just to kind of test it out. So let me see, where am I going? Okay. In my many years on the city council, I've gotten to visit Binka several times, including at Democracy Day and graduation, and have a deep love and appreciation for this school, which I always say is a gem in Dorchester and in District 4.
That's a great start.
Yeah, we love it.
The thing, so we're going to be watching on the YouTube live, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just that then in the YouTube live, what I see everyone. I don't see
The spotlight was not keeping up.
Spotlight was skipping. So I'm watching a screen of Zoom, but the speaker is only in Zoom actually. So I don't know. What is all that?
Casey, do you have any ideas about how to?
So there is a little bit of a lag. And I think people are just going to have to do their best with how this is going to appear. It's just with any streaming service, you're going to have a little bit of a lag. I think just keeping the best practice of spotlighting whomever is speaking is good, and maybe beginning, I mean, you'll probably start, I would advise starting with a little bit of, we're live streaming this event today. So there might be a little bit of a delay. I think most people have some grace about these things, especially a year into the pandemic. We've all been part of these things, but yes, there will be a slight delay. And I did see Jocelyn's chat around the idea of I'm unmuted, you'll hear my second device. You're absolutely right. So Jocelyn will need to be muted so that you don't get the audio of both feeds. I don't think that's necessarily a problem unless, was Jocelyn supposed to speak at any point?
what I meant is that when I connect with YouTube, I see the view is gallery view. I don't see just the speaker. I see
Yeah.
everyone, and I was wondering if there is a way to spotlight just the speaker in YouTube as well or not.
It should be, because that's interesting, because what I'm seeing is the spotlight. Like what I'm seeing right now is forgive me, Sean, I hope, okay. Sean's video is being spotlighted for me. I'm looking live on, well, actually I'm looking in the Zoom, so I'm not looking at
Right.
the live stream.
Well, I see.
Right. So I just relaunched, just checked, and on YouTube it still looks like gallery view even minutes later
Mhm.
now.
But my whole stream has been gallery view.
Right.
Actually, that's
So-
not true. When I first started, it was only Sean. Well, we were still playing before we started the fake introductions, but then it went to gallery.
I think that's because it's on my screen and I switched to gallery view instead
That's
of
why.
speaker view.
Oh,
That would be why. That would be why.
But I am wondering whether it will be best to just leave it on gallery view because there's going to be a lag. So I don't want someone else speaking and, for example, Sean's video showing while Miss Jackson is saying her part. I don't know if
You
that's
know,
Oh,
yeah,
that
it
won't
does
happen.
make so what I'm thinking I will do anyway is I will like have two, Mr. King and Ed Milson will be on there to start, both of them spotlighted. And then when Mr. King is done, then I will add Sean and take Mr. King off, right? So that there are usually two people until the person is well underway. Okay. But I think, Mr. King, you were the hiccup now. Is that right? So for folks, so now are you not on gallery anymore?
I am now on speaker view.
okay.
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 So and so do you all now see
That's
Mr.
good.
King off?
That's
Okay,
good.
great. All right, great.
Okay,
Good
good.
here.
Until the person is well underway.
Yeah, that's good now.
Okay. So Jocelyn, you keep getting unmuted, or
No,
It
it's,
it says the host would like you to unmute, or the host requests you to unmute, but I don't know
I
what's
see.
going on. I keep mute. That's why I put it in the chat that if I unmute,
Yeah,
you'll hear
yeah.
him.
Right. I was not asking you to unmute, so I'm not sure why that was, but I will just mute all, right? And then spotlight and unmute people.
great.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm going to have to run just because I
No,
have to go to another
You
meeting.
solved all our problems. It's
Oh,
perfect.
it's what everyone says. No, joking.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful to meet some of you and to see those of you I know again. And best of luck with the event tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay.
Have a
Thanks,
good
Casey. Bye.
afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Tony, do you want to spotlight two people so we can see what that looks like?
Yes. So I'm going to put you back. So now this is what two people looks like. Do you see yourself side by side?
It will take a second
Okay.
for it to
So we'll
catch
keep
up.
talking.
It looks like, oh, now it's you in the live stream.
So, well, it shouldn't be
I
me.
always see Sean.
You only see Sean. Mr.
Yeah.
King sees me.
I see
Doesn't
now.
make any
Oh,
sense.
now, no, you switched it. You switched it. I think you pinned because it's who's ever talking.
Now I see you, right? I see
So,
Mr. King.
isn't that funny?
Oh, maybe.
Okay. So I'm not sure now. Maybe if you spotlight, maybe if it's your screen that it's following, it needs to be you putting up the spotlight.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
I just removed all spotlights.
Okay, I will do the same. And then let's try this again. We're just going to go through. So I'm going to mute everybody, and then I'm going to unmute and spotlight in the right order. So you just say hi. Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody.
It seems to be it seems like it's just following who's ever speaking at this point.
Right.
That's pinning, right?
So here's spotlight for everyone. I just clicked. Let's see.
If you spotlight for everyone, that means everyone is going to, when they start talking, it's going to focus on them.
Which is what we want, right?
I
How
think so.
about this? So now do you see yourself and Sean on the spotlight? Sean seemed to see himself on the screen.
Yes, that's what I see. I see the two of us.
Okay.
But not in YouTube.
I'm feeling some sense of gratitude that my cat's not doing what Sean's cat's doing. So
Every time I sit here.
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay.
I have a question.
Mhm.
If they're pinning people, can it just be like on the speaker view? And because at the end of the day, we want to focus on the spotlight and whomever is speaking. So
Let's
Yeah, even when it was the two people, you said, all I could see was you, Tony Jackson, and you're saying,
Okay.
can you see the two people spotlighted? But I could only see you asking that on the screen.
Okay. Well, you know what? Tomorrow I won't be talking, so I won't be on the screen. Perfect. So let's try it that way. That let's not worry about spotlight. Let's just have Mr. King be on. I'm going to remove the spotlight from Mr. King. I'm going to remove the spotlight from Sean. And so now it should be on speaker. Is that right? So you're all looking at me because I'm talking?
It'll take
Okay.
about 20 seconds to
With
confirm.
with a delay, right?
With a delay. Okay. So what I'm going to ask us to do now is I will not talk, but I will put in the chat my my directions, if that's okay. So if everyone could have the chat open, and I'm just going to starting now.
Okay, so Tony, I just got, when you said now you should see me because I'm talking and I could
Mhm.
see you, but then I said we can only, and then I said something and I could see me again. It kept following who was speaking. So if someone is unmuted and coughs, or has background noise, it's going to keep
Right.
following that person.
I should be able to mute everyone though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I keep the, if I keep the participants, like, so on my setup, right, I can have, because I have two screens, not that I know how to control them, but, oh, sorry, Sean, I sent you the message. If I have chat and participants up on my other screen and the Zoom up on my main screen here, I can send messages and I can mute everybody on the participants list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna mute everybody.
Miss Jackson, I
Good
think
morning.
yourself.
Say it again.
You should mute yourself because you
Okay.
still have.
Right, good point. Thank you, Catherine.
Good morning, everyone. Very excited to be here and introduce Ed Milson.
Hello. Can yeah, you can see me.
Great, and then I would jump in and I would talk. It doesn't look like it has jumped to me. Can you guys
So it
hear?
did. Ed Milson, as soon as you're done talking, you need to mute yourself. Okay? So as everyone finishes up, they mute themselves.
Got it. So it should be on me now, right? Oh, but you know what? On my own screen, it's not jumping to me. So can someone just give me a thumbs up that it's working on? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So yeah, I guess now I'll run through just a couple of these lines to make them work, and my sweet cat here will join me. So just the same line again. So in my years on the city council, I've gotten to visit Binka several times, including at Democracy Day and graduation, and I have a deep love and appreciation for this school, which I always say is a gem in Dorchester and District 4. Thank you to the educators and administrators who have been working hard to keep schools running during this difficult time. It isn't easy, but students are learning because you are putting in such hard work despite the obstacles. To the students watching, is that good for timing? Do you wanna, perfect.
Thank you so much, Councillor Campbell, for your time with us here today. We really appreciate it. Now, I would like to introduce Catherine De Jesus, our student government president, and she will lead us with the question and answer phase of our day.
Good morning, Mrs. Campbell. Is Mrs. Campbell or Miss Campbell?
I guess it would, you could just say counselor.
Okay.
Counselor's easier.
Okay. Good morning, Chancellor. It's so nice having you here. So student government created a couple of questions in regards of this topics: homelessness, undocumented immigrants, affordable housing, unemployment, student vote, police violence, as well as gun violence. Should I ask them right now? No?
So yeah, no, so we'll, Catherine, we'll stay on after, and maybe you, me, and Ms. Edwards and Ed Nielsen, we can have just a little bit more conversation about how these parts should go. But I feel good about all of this bouncing around. I think we figured out these kinks. What I'd like, before we lose, I would like to just ask Mr. Espinola and Sean to just, whatever words of wisdom you guys can share with one another about the pacing, I'd like to make sure we get that information. Mr. Espinola?
As I said before, don't worry. So tell the counselor not to worry. We'll catch up with whatever she's saying. And again, it's not going to be 100% of what she said, but we'll do our best. So I mean, yes, I mean your pacing was perfect, because every like 3 or 4 sentences you were pausing like briefly, and that was great. If she can do that and she feels comfortable, sometimes when you speak, you stop too often, kills the speech. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it doesn't make it that interesting for the audience. So I mean, she can deliver good speech better.
Perfect. And like I said, I'll make sure to get you a copy of.
That'll be great.
Yeah, and then it'll be easier to just like kind of run through
Much
it.
better. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And Mr. Espinola, if you can share it with, well, Sean, if you share it with me, I'll make sure that all the native language hosts have it.
Perfect.
Okay, Mr. Espinola, you don't need to worry about that.
No problem.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Thank you guys so much. I would like to take another minute with our student presenters, but I feel like we've got a good sense. The only other thing I'd like, Sean, if you can just make sure that Mr. King and I have the email addresses of everyone you want invited to the Zoom. Okay.
Perfect. I'll do that.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
I have a couple questions.
Mm.
So as I'm watching the feed tomorrow, if there's something that goes wrong or just looks strange, do you want me to use chat to let you know? Do you want me to text you? Like who?
I
what's the
think you
best
should
way?
text me. I think
Okay.
it's going to go tech on YouTube is you,
Mhm.
and then tech on the Zoom is going to be me. Sort of moderator on the Zoom is
Okay.
going to be me. So, because I don't have a speaking role tomorrow, so my whole job is just going to be to mute, unmute, make sure. So you can let me know any of that. And
Okay.
then Sean, do you, if we somehow need to get a message to you or to the counselor, do you want to put a cell phone number in an email also to me and Mr. King so that we can, just in case there's something.
Yeah, can do.
Would you want to start a group text if like, in case we need to get a message out to everybody that you don't want to be in the public chat, or a Google Hangout, or just some way so that the whole group can communicate?
How wide do you think that group, do you think you, me, Sean is the right set of people?
I think if someone needs to say like my internet's unstable, I don't know, anything could go wrong. It's easier than looking for like, who do I need to tell? If we just start a group text with everybody who's in the Zoom room, it might be more streamlined. And then everyone knows what's going on with everybody else.
Okay, so then, Ms. Edwards, are you okay with that? Can we add your phone number to that, to a group chat?
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Espinola, if you have, is that okay, you too?
Yeah,
And then
sure.
you can share
Absolutely.
the information
Yeah,
with
sure.
your other hosts.
Yeah.
We don't need
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
on that
Everyone
one,
on that.
but
Fine.
that would be great.
Tony Jackson,
Yes.
how many people are going to be in the Zoom during the question and answer? Because I'm just looking at YouTube on the gallery right now, and it
Mhm.
kind of looks nice. I don't know how many questions there are, and I don't know
I
how
was
many
gonna-
students are coming. But
I
if
was gonna
it's
say one
only
thing-
like
oh, sorry.
8 people, then they could be in gallery. Even during the Q&A.
Mhm.
Just a thought.
Yep. Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say one thing you can do is, Mr. King, if you, there should be a way for you to turn off being able to see any non-video participants. And so what you could do is, if you wanted the gallery while you're doing Q&A, if everyone who's not participating in Q&A turns their camera off, you could do the gallery so you could see, the folks asking questions and the counselor at the same time,
Right.
instead of it doing like the flicker back and forth. So yeah, if you, trying to think, if you click the little 3 dots above, well, now because since you turned yours off, it should hide you should see an option to hide non-video folks, and then I'll turn mine off too really quickly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so then in that way we could like limit who's on there.
I like that, because I do think like during the Q&A, it'd be nice to see a couple of students' faces, and not to make it crowded in there, but
Yeah.
I have a question in terms of, because I see on how the comments are off. Do you guys want to keep the comments off on YouTube?
that's an automatic function. When I went through to set it up, that's how it sets up. And I'm not smart enough to figure out how to turn the comments on. I got this thing to work.
I know you have to be logged into YouTube in order to leave comments. And since students are going to be watching this on their BPS account, my guess is that BPS has locked down that feature for student accounts.
That makes sense.
I'm not sure, but
yeah, I'm not in a student account, and I can comment. So I think you're right. That's probably an administration side issue.
That makes sense. I was just, because from what I have in my understanding, students aren't going to be in a homeroom for like half an hour. They're going to get there at 9. So is it okay if they like make up some questions and email them to me or to any member of student government?
Yes, I'm trying to think how the questions will get to you, and I'm wondering if we should also have like I'm just not sure, like we should have maybe an email. We have already an email chain of hosts, and so maybe I just put that in the directions that all hosts should be prepared to send questions, and I will have that email up and refresh that email. And so as I get questions, I can put them in the chat and I can send them
might-
to you directly, Catherine.
It might be easier to make just a simple Google form with what's your question, and then everyone who needs to can access the Google sheet that populates in real time all the questions that come in.
Is that something that you could make? And then I'll put that in the instructions.
Yeah, can
Yeah,
you
sure.
have like put their name, like name, question? So
Name
like
and question.
whoever ask that question is like, oh, from da 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 da. Da, 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 da. And my other question is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot my other question.
You're fine. What I was hoping, and maybe I will answer the question, is, Catherine, I'm hoping that actually that Ms. Edwards will give some directions, like make sure you're on mute unless you're asking a question, things like that. But then, Catherine, I am hoping that you will call on students to ask some of the questions. So, I expect to hear your voice maybe a third of the time, and then, you calling on other folks. So you should feel free to ask questions on behalf of some folks. But if there are kids in the Zoom and you say, oh, Shania, this was a question you asked about, police funding. And then Shania would be prepared to ask that question. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
So who should I send that? You want me to make up the Google form, just name and question?
If you don't mind, sorry, I'm losing my mind with all the things. And then
And I'll
And
add everyone here as collaborators so you can all see the responses.
that would be great. And then I can put the link to the form, right, in the all staff email that I send out tonight with all the other instructions.
Tony,
Right.
do we want to let Saloni and Sean sign off here? I think they're done, right?
I think so, right? Unless you guys have any more
Thank you guys
questions.
so much for jumping in.
Yeah, thank you for putting this together.
Sure.
Excited for tomorrow.
One more thing. What time are we all start? Are we doing a mini practice at like 15 minutes until we go live, or what time are we all getting back in Zoom tomorrow?
Now that I'm confident I know how to do it, I'm gonna open it up like 45 minutes before, because that's what it actually recommended in the directions. So it'll be there. What time is it? 9. So
So like 9:05,
8:15. 8:15. It'll be up.
8:15.
Okay.
Are you sharing the Zoom link today, Mr. King?
I'm gonna do that to Tony Jackson.
Yeah,
next,
so
right?
I want the Zoom link and the live stream link, right? That's a link, or no? Yeah, that's got to be a link, right? Because like Saloni's going to access this.
There's a live stream.
There's a live stream that comes in the Zoom, so I can just connect through there. I don't need that.
Yes, but the teachers will not be in the Zoom.
Yes,
in the
there's
other
a
rooms.
there's a live stream link on YouTube that I will give.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so my plan was to post that on like all the documents,
Mhm.
right? On the one pager, on the slide, on the detailed schedule,